Hey guys, welcome back to Web on the Web. Dan here, and today I'm just going to be talking about a topic that kind of came to my head. Basically, I'm going to be discussing why I think franchise films have become so popular and so prevalent in recent years. Now, I'll be looking into a bit of historical context here, and I'll be taking a look at some statistics and all of that. So if that already sounds boring to you, I would recommend you get going right now. There's probably some cat video or something or some React video you can watch. But if you're interested, then stick around because I think it'll be a good one. So, first off, franchise films, what are they? Franchise films are, well, you take one film and basically you build blocks on top of that in future films, and you create like this little universe. So, an obvious one, say contemporary example, the Marvel films. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is a film franchise in itself, and all the films are interconnected and they exist in the same universe. That's what a film franchise is. They kind of, each film kind of, it builds upon what came in the last one, if you know, that kind of thing. So, we're going to take a little bit look back in time here, because a lot of people think that the concept of a franchise film is just a modern day thing. If you hear someone saying that, would you give them a slap for me, please? Because they're very wrong. Franchise films have been around for a long time now. Actually, ever since early Hollywood. All the Charlie Chaplin films, he plays a character called the Tramp. So, technically, you could look at those as like existing in the same universe. Therefore, they are franchise films. And even though it wasn't coined as that back then, it's still there. If you look at it through the, now perspective from nowadays. But I'll go to one that is coined as a franchise film by everyone. We'll go to the 1960s and we'll go to James Bond. James Bond in 1963 launched with Dr. No, was a pretty big success. Followed it up with, let's say, 22 more movies, and now we're on the 24th coming out. God knows when. Daniel Craig, sort out your goddamn expectations there, mate. But as you can see, franchise films have been around since the early days. You want another example? Look at Universal Movie Studios. Their classic monster series, such as Dracula, The Mummy, Frankenstein, they all existed in the same universe. They all played off each other. Therefore, they are franchise films. Speaking of which, Universal is actually trying to reboot that with a Tom Cruise-led Mummy remake. I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest, mainly because I'm not a big fan of remakes. That's another topic for another video, actually. So I'll save that for some other time. But if you want like something that's not a Western example of these, go to Asia, go to Japan exactly, and look at Godzilla. Godzilla has crossed over with so many different monsters, but at this point, Godzilla just is a franchise machine. And they know that very much. They're making new Godzilla films now. In fact, after the next King Kong film comes out, the next Godzilla film is actually King Kong versus Godzilla. So it's not just one franchise anymore. It's two franchises coming together and creating a super franchise. So that will be interesting to watch. But I've talked about historical context and bored you with all that long enough. Let's talk about why franchises are so big. Why they're so attractive to both audience and studios. So I'll start with the studio's perspective first. First off, you're going to look at the profitability. An average film, just a once-off film, take, let me think, looking in my room right now, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I know that's a weird one it's just the first one I saw. So, you pump in a bit of money, a nice average amount into the budget, say 90 million, and you get a nice little profit, like tidy little once-off profit off the the run of the cinema in the cinema and the Blu-ray releases. That's nice, but you take a franchise, you get one film, you put in the money into that, you get the profit out of that and its Blu-ray release, and then you get another film in the same franchise, and you get another one, and you get another one, and you see where I'm going. As you go, the profit builds up. People become more, they're more attracted to these repeat films because they trust them more because they're more invested in it. And as you go along, you can also find the studio might also find themselves increasing the budget of said films to in turn hopefully increase the profit that you make from the films. So you can see why that would be that would be appealing to a film studio, because it's kind of like money printing, a printing machine for money if you do it right. So if you don't do it right, though, you can be in deep trouble. Let's have a look at DC. Right now, Warner Brothers is trying to catch up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and in a lot of people's opinions, and I can see this as well, they are doing a really bad job of it. They're rushing things. They're not taking their time to establish characters, arcs, plot. It's just like a throw everything at the screen and hope something sticks type thing. One thing has stuck, it's, Ben Affleck's Batman, but unfortunately that's a bit turbulent right now with him leaving and refusing to direct it, even though he does have good reasons. It has caused a bit of a diminished interest in the film from fans, and see, this is the problem. You have to be willing to satisfy fans' fans' demands in these type of films, because if you don't, you're going to alienate the fan base, alienate your target audience, and you will be in deep shit. That is all that can really be said about that. But yeah, so budget, as the film goes on, more money to made, more budget goes into the film, and you get more of a profit, hopefully. But also, it's not just the money you make out of the films anymore. Merchandising has become such a big thing that you can't walk out the door without seeing an advertisement for a film or a piece of merchandise. For example, Funko Pops and figurines. That has become such a massive market. In fact, I have 30 of them sitting up on my shelf right there, all from like Marvel, DC, video games. As you can see, marketing and merchandising really has become its own business, and it's almost, you have to include that in the franchise though, because that is a part of the franchise. It's kind of just, it increases the profits that the studio can make outside of the initial cinema run. So as you can see from all that, that is why it would be, that's why it would be very, very attractive to a studio to get themselves into franchise films if they do it properly. Obviously, if they don't do it properly, it's just going to be a balls up. But if they do it properly, it can be very profitable for them. So also, I'll take a look at why people like these franchise films so much. So I'm going to take a look from I'll look at it from the fanboy's perspective first, the person who's already invested in the material of the product that you're dealing with. So we'll look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look at how the Marvel fans reacted when they first announced Iron Man back in 2008. It wasn't as big with the normal market, but with the Marvel fanboy, the Marvel Comics fan base, it was a huge thing, because finally they were going to see one of their favourite superheroes up on the big screen. Fast forward today, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become a massive draw for people. Why is that? Because Marvel has created a set of iconic characters that are no longer just identifiable to comic book fans, but also identifiable to the average moviegoer. You can't go anywhere anymore without seeing Captain America, or Batman, or Iron Man, or Superman plastered all over the place. And obviously, seeing that over and over again, that's going to do something to you psychologically. You are going to want to watch things with those associated with those those products, because psychologically you've been conditioned to think that they're good. I know I'm going into a bit too much detail here. It's probably less Sigmund Freud than I'm putting it. Like, I don't think Freud ever did analyze film goers, but if you just look, I do believe there's a psychological element to it, as there is with a lot of other things. So if you just look at the way you're being conditioned, you realise that these franchise films really are psychological in nature. And they even do it in the marketing. Like, sometimes you'll see in the marketing little things like, you'll see things like, oh, whose side are you on? Are you on Batman's side? Or are you on Superman's side? Oh, choose a side. You're psychologically conditioned to choose a side there, because, like, obviously if you're looking at this from a perspective of a fanboy, you're gonna know which to choose. But if you're just from the outside, you look at those symbols and you'd be like, yeah, I want in on this. I want to join this. I want to be a part of this big social phenomenon. And as you can see, that creates buzz around the films, and that attracts more people to it. So that's another reason, the whole consumer attraction thing that does draw audiences in. But also, people, what other reason do people watch films? Just a bit of good old fashioned escapism, you know. Now, if you watch an average film just once off, you're gonna get like 2.5 hours of joy and fun, and just escape reality and just just go into the film and just experience life through that. Take a franchise, you have like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 films in the case of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A bit more probably. I'm not great. There's so many of them, but like, you have hours upon hours, even days of content there to keep you entertained and keep you distracted from reality. It's almost like creating a second world for you to inhabit. Actually, that's probably not a very bad analogy at all. Take a look at Harry Potter. I mean, there was 8 of those films, started with 1, and then you have the books, and you have Pottermore, and you have the video games. You have so much escapism there, and people just love to escape reality, especially nowadays with the turbulent condition that the world is in at the moment. Donald Trump, I'm looking at you. But but it just helps people to deal with life, basically. But other than escaping from reality, these films can also deal in a very up to date and modern, they can deal with the issues that are topical in the world as they come up. So look at the Marvel films, you can see all these little issues, you can see gender inequality, you can see racial tensions, you can see political instability, all of that. You can see all of that as it's a big thing in the news. Like, take a look at Civil War this year, there was political instability in that. Then look at the American, the election, political instability. It's very coincidental that it came out at the same time period, but that's not coincidental. You can use these franchise films to explore more than you can in one film. And it's pretty exciting, it's pretty cool if you look at it from that way. And finally, I'm going back into the whole psychological aspect, but people psychologically want to be entertained, and psychologically they want a hero figure. They want someone they can identify as hero, villain, boom, 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 hero kicks villain's ass, saves the day, we're all happy, go home. That type of thing. You take a franchise film, you can take one hero, and you can build them up in different films, with different villains, different challenges to overcome. You create a massive persona around that character, and that draws people in, and that gives people what they want to see. They want to see a hero. And I don't know about you, but I really am looking forward to future films from the modern day franchises such as Marvel, DC, if they ever get their shit together, and Harry Potter, because of the Fantastic Beasts series. But guys, that's just a few little reasons why I feel franchise films have become so big and are so popular today and in the past. So guys, I want you to let me know if I bored you to death, because if I have, then I won't make another one of these videos. But if you found it interesting, please do let me know, because I do have other topics I would like to discuss. For now though, guys, just let me know down in the comments, do you like franchise films? And if so, what are your favourite franchises? Mine are Marvel and DC and Harry Potter, and a lot of Star Wars, obviously. Star Wars is another big one. But thanks for watching, guys, and if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know. Thanks for listening. It's been a long video, I know. I'll leave you alone now. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.